Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to BGTV. Today, I want to talk about the idea of personalization and customization because it is incredibly powerful. In the world of AI today, things are getting so mass and blanketed, and one thing applies to everybody, sort of thing, that we're almost losing that customization. And I came across this idea in a couple of different ways. One was particularly in the world of sales, and I'm learning this new idea called contact marketing. It's probably just a rebrand of something that already exists, or just something that somebody coined the term to talk about something that already exists. But it's basically just getting really, really personalized with sales and outreach. And the idea is to, instead of sending out one same email that was written once, or using copy that was written once and sending that out to 10 million people, to choose 100 or less people, do a significant amount of research on each one individually, and pick a specific outreach to each individual person. So all 100 people get 100 different types of outreach, and make it super personal, do a ton of research, understand who they are. And it's seems to be really effective. I know that when I take the extra time to reach out to people and maybe write the handwritten note, or go the extra mile, or do something that's specific or personal to them, then it yields the best result. And I often get to reap the benefits or the rewards later on down the road because I put in the work and effort to make it personal for them. A second reason why I wanted to bring this up is because I have this thing in my office. This thing is some random, I don't even know what this is. It's like a random jar, as you can see if you're on the video side of this. If you're on the audio side, sorry, but it's like a jar thing. And it says specifically made for Mr. R. Pressner. Now, that is my great grandfather. And the reason why I have this thing still in my house to this day is because it says the name of my great grandfather. He loved everything custom. He was an awesome dude. That's really cool, though, because they were able to get this thing into his house, which then got passed down to my grandparents, which then got passed down to me. So because it was engraved and personalized, and it was super custom, you don't get more custom than that. It has now lasted. If it was just a random jar thing like that, it would definitely have not made it down to me as like a family thing that now we're passing down. And I have it in my house for some reason. But because it's personal, it means it makes it worth something. In the book, one of my favorite books of all time, right here on my bookshelf, How to Win Friends and Influence People, I learned that the person's first name, anybody's first name, is the very sweetest sound in all of the world to them. Think about it in your own life. When somebody calls you by your first name, you feel really good. When you meet somebody and they say, "Hey, dude," or you meet them again and they say, "Hey, bro, what's going on, man?" You probably realize that they don't remember your name. And that doesn't really make you feel that good. At least it doesn't make me feel that good. So I always just think about that. And I actually get a little bit weird in public if I don't remember somebody's name. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I know who you are. We've totally met before. I definitely don't remember your name. I should know your name. You told me your name. I'll get weird about it because I'm like, I know what they want. I know that they want me to know their name, and I know they want me to say that name. It gets weird. This one story, I've never actually told this in a professional setting like this, or, as professional as the setting is, but never told this story before. But when I was in college, when I first read that book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, I took it upon myself to learn people's names and to really take that seriously. And for whatever reason, that stuck with me. There are a lot of different principles in the book, a fantastic book, but that one is like one of the ones that has stuck with me the most. The other one is don't criticize, condemn, or complain. That's a beautiful one. That's like, I literally wrote that on a sticky note and I stick that on my front door. And I'm like, this is a zone of excellence. These are the rules. Do not criticize, do not condemn, do not complain. I try to live my life by that. I don't always do the best job, but I aspire to live my life by that better every day. Anyways, coming back to the first name thing. In college, probably one of the most fun parties that I've ever been to in my entire life was a party that I went to that I made it my mission at that party to learn every single person's name. There were like probably 40, 50 people at the party. It was like a house party, 40, 50 people at the party. And I literally told them at the party, I'm on a mission to learn your name. And then I told everybody that, and they all knew. And so I went around and I said everybody's name. And you know what happened? We all remembered each other's names. We were all saying each other's names freely. We turned from acquaintances, sometimes strangers, into true friends. And the bond and the relationship that was formed there, it was amazing. It was like we had all known each other our whole lives. We were just thick as thieves, the best of friends. It was absolutely incredible. And that was the most fun I think I've ever had at a party. I've never been able to recreate that same thing yet. I've yet to recreate that. I want to try it again. But because everybody knew each other's names, it became more personal. We became more human. It's not like that person over there. It's Johnny or whoever it is. But the name made it so personal that it helped us connect on a deeper level. And so whether it be at a party setting, whether it be in a sales setting, or whether it be in any setting, really, the personalization, the customization, it matters, and it makes us more human, and it turns it from, hey, it's this big wild world and we're a bunch of strangers, into, no, we're human beings, and it brings us together. I've been doing a lot of work studying empathy, this idea of like, put yourself in somebody else's shoes, or be able to understand how somebody feels, or be able to understand what somebody's thinking, these different things. And all this kind of comes, it kind of comes full circle, and it really, uh, these different paths collide. This idea of personalization, there's almost nothing more personal than being able to understand what somebody else is thinking. Like empathy at the deepest level is the greatest level of personalization. Like, how are you going to know, and back to how to win friends, influence people. There's this one story about how this individual was calling on this one CEO of a business, couldn't get the time of day, kept trying for years and years and years. One day heard that this individual's child loved to collect stamps. So the salesperson went and got a bunch of stamps and brought it to the CEO and said, hey, I found these stamps for your child. And then became good friends, spent hours together before he could only get minutes, and ultimately made the sale without even having to ask, because it's super personal. And the empathy to know, or to feel, put yourself in that person's shoes, feel what they're feeling like. A father trying to take care of their child, wants to delight their child. What better than to have somebody go out and hand you that thing? It all goes in one and the same. There's nothing more personal than that. And I've been thinking about a lot about that lately, and I wanted to share that with you all, because I think if we can all be more personal, and this, I'm mostly talking to myself, because I super struggle with this probably more than anybody, or I have had a propensity to struggle with this in the past. Learn from Alex Hormozy. Don't want to say like I am statements and lock yourself into a bad habit, or put chains, emotional, intellectual chains over yourself. So like the best way is to be like, in the past, I have had a propensity to, so doing that to take care of the mental, especially when creating content, because it's forever, and then you try to live up to that in the public image, blah blah blah, whatever. So gonna just take care of that. Um, why not be more personal? Why not, instead of trying to blanket a message out to a million people, do a really, really good message out to one? There's 100 people in the world where, if you could connect with them and really, really get into their lives, and either do business with them, or become their friend, or find a romantic partner, whatever, 100 people would completely change anybody's life. Anybody's life. So I think the way to get there is through the personalization. Be custom. Send the engraved random pot that to the great grandfather, whose then great grandson is going to make a video that shows that same thing, that is completely custom, years and years and decades later, because it's personal. There's nothing else in the world that is quite like that. It is totally unique, and is unique and created just for somebody else. So I thought that was really cool. I wanted to share that with you all. I'm trying out random stuff in BGTV now, because I want to create content for you all, for the world, for people that are listening later on down the road. Hopefully that'll be like children of mine, grandchildren of mine, great grandchildren. If you're my great grandchild and you're checking this out, hey, this was your great grandfather. He was super awesome. His name was Ralph Pressner. And he was one of the first people in the city of New Orleans, actually in the whole world, but he was in New Orleans. He's one of the first people, actually the number one first person to ever import beads from China to New Orleans. He was the first person. So he helped to really make Mardi Gras what it is today. So if you're listening to this, great grandchildren, he was awesome. You come from really cool people. And I love you all, including everybody that's not great grandchildren or descendants. I love you all. And let's get more personal because it's really powerful. And I think it can do a lot of good things for the world.